We have noticed there has been a shift on your planet, a shift of great fear. Affects all of us, our whole of ourself emotionally, and so it makes it really difficult to hear anything externally from ourselves. That God forbid if we change those thoughts, that who are we if we change those thoughts? That story we play out, and these individuals are still repeating the same story, as in, I've got a narcissist partner. I'm like, yeah, you said that 25 years ago. What have you done about it? We've got some guys that's just walking and saying, we're always throwing signs at all of you and, messages and how we want to help you to move on. It's everything is set up for us to find the individuals or something, or the answers to something. They know the bigger plan. So the universe, source, the divine knows the bigger plan. So when you're doing trance channeling, you're shifting over to one side, so LightCouncil can come in and they can communicate, and then my voice box, they work through my voice box. Thank you. They just said, okay, more guides coming in on this side too. Love it. Okay, so thank you. They just said thank you. Okay. Welcome. We are here too. We have not gone far. We are always here, always. And we do not mean just placed internally within, and we mean within your energy fields, your energy frequency on your planet. We are always working with your energies on your planet. We are always tuning in. We are always interested to see how far each of you have come and are going and moving and stepping forward. It's interesting. As many of you have these TV boxes, it's the same for us as we watch you too. And we are intrigued with your conversations that you're having on your planet at this time. Again, we are just a frequency that you are receiving through a channeler, through just as you would receive your channels on your TV sets. Now on your computers, we see that, yes, and there are other devices that you receive information, but you are just receiving this information, this influx of frequency that this channeler is providing for you. And sometimes the reception, I suppose, is similar to your internet, goes down at times. There are glitches and blips in there. This is fine also. So we are stepping forward now more. Yes, we can feel even more inside. Okay. Well done. Excellent. We have noticed there has been a shift on your planet, a shift of great fear, of worry, of stress. Now, every single planet has its own shift, and every single parts of the planet, as in your countries, have different frequencies arising at different times, and in different places of your country there is many different information arising also, depending on what is occurring at the time when we tune in, and we tune into the planet and tune into the different countries and different states on your world. It is almost intriguing. It's most intriguing. This is the word, and we want it most intriguing, as there are different situations arising on your planet at any given time, and depending on the individuals who are connected, understanding, consciously aware, depends on also the frequency within the state, within the country, or the understanding. There are clusters of those of you on your planet that are more awake than others, and we do not mean that you've been sleeping in the sense there are many Zs there. What we mean is that many of you are now starting to see your world that you live in a different context now. It's very different from how you would have seen it before. This is the place where you are learning right now on your planet of information about yourself and those around you. But there are many of you that are still, who hear this message, are disconnected. And we would say the biggest disconnection is through fear. We have been having a little look at many of the energies on your planet, and there has been this sense of fear that disconnects you. So you see, when you are worried about paying your bills, worried about your health, worried about your relationships, worried about your job, worried about trade from other countries, many things there are to be worried. There is always something that your minds are worried about something. It's always busy. We are aware of this as we individually tune into your minds as well, just to see from time to time. You see, you are connected. You see, those who have passed through onto this other dimension of time and space, they are connected to you. Their energy does not fade away. Many of you would call this being deceased, but it is just that you have crossed over or crossed through or moved to another dimension. That's all. Like moving house. That's all it is moving into another dimension of time and space. It isn't the end, the finale. It is that you continue on the other side, as you may call this, in this other dimension, and you become one. And of course, those who are with us on this side, always intrigued, as in their loved ones, their family members, their friends, their lovers and partners, and everything else that you want to call them in between. Not there should be any naming or labeling or titles for anyone's relationship as such, but yes, everyone is here as well. So it's just you move into another room. That's all it is. Just see it as this. Sometimes you have to shout louder to connect to someone individually, like you would if you were calling out, would you like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a biscuit to dunk, thank you, dunk into that. Yes. So it is another dimension of time and space. So it's not to fear passing through or passing over or becoming deceased. There's whatever the name that you wish to call it. Many of you call this different names, and your feelings and emotions that we are aware of. But you do not lose them forever. They are just with us as well. We are all together, and there are many other rooms that we move into other dimensions too as well. That's for another time. So you are picking up on this frequency that you're hearing through Anne's voice right now. We sometimes tweak and change the information and the sound of the voice. We are present. But we are aware also of your individual selves as well. So let's go back. The detachment through fear, of course. There have been great wars on your planet. There is great wars at this any particular time. There is always wars on your planet. That is usual. That is where many of your personalities clash. The ego kicks in from time to time. But there is also the fear of other things on your planet too. It is not that you shouldn't be achieving or doing what you want to do and stay stuck in one place. It is actually just to do it. It is to be mindful of trying your best at any given time. You see, many of you, we are aware of fearing what it is that is to be held in your future or worrying about how you move forward. But you see, if you come from a place of, I shouldn't be in that relationship because of fear of what will happen in the future, fear of, we will use an example, fear of, say for instance, someone in a toxic relationship, fear of the children, that if you leave now, the poor children, what will happen in the future? Well, you cannot predict that as such because the future is there. There are many possibilities. It depends on the step that you take from the present moment. Is to be mindful that whatever decision you take from the moment that you make that decision is already affecting the outcome and the future self. There are many possibilities of the future self. There are many different dimensions of time and space, many, many different avenues, not just one. It just depends on yourself and the understanding that you have as an individual person at any given time. So you see, if you try to future-proof yourself in the sense of, I must do this because of my future self. It's not necessarily true because you do not know what's going to happen in the future in the sense of there's many possibilities that could happen around you. It's like the fishing line that's thrown into the lake, the river, trying to catch some fish. It's too wishy-washy. So we are suggesting, why don't you make that change? Why don't you become more aware of yourself? Why don't you become more aware of making those changes from the place that you're at any given time, from that particular space, that part of who you are right now? That changes your future self. We also are aware of many of you that are fearing in the sense of you are creating these lists of manifestation in the sense of what you would like for your future self. But then by just creating this future list that you feel that this is going to materialize, you have to keep at the same frequency, you see. We are hearing many of you that would like that new holiday, that new car, that new house, that new job, that new partner, or even your health. We have been aware of that too. We're aware of what it is that you may want. We're also aware that you must take that step forward. Many of you are just sending out that fishing line and hoping that you will catch that fish that's swimming around in the sea or the lake or the river. And what we mean by this is that it's not about just putting it out. It's not about just wishful thinking. It is about how you are feeling in yourself. But many of you heard this before. We are mentioning this because we are aware of what's happening on your planet right now, as many of you are either losing your job or your home or relationships or whatever it is, the materialistic part of yourself. Many of you are believing that you are still the 3D cardboard cutout of yourself on your planet. Many of you think that you are who you are because of the job that you play or the role that you are living in, as in the house that you live in. I live in this number of this street. I live in this part of the world. I do this for a living. No. You are labeling yourself and keeping yourself small and stuck. The idea is to move beyond that. The idea is to move in and out of the different dimensions of your soul self. The idea is that you are to connect. That would help you, would make you feel more comforted in the sense of when there is stress happening on your planet. You have many guides around you that are trying to throw signs at you. Some of those signs are so evident in front of your face that many of you cannot see them because many of you are still living in the 3D world or the concept of who you think you are on your planet, which this is utter nonsense, you know. It's utter nonsense because really in the big scope of things, do you think this matters? Your title, your job, the house that you live in, your status? No, it is irrelevant because you are stripped bare directly that you move through into this dimension. So as you walk through the doorway and step into another room, again, everything changes. And if for those who may not understand what we just meant, that when you are dead, I hate using this terminology because that feels as if it's the finale, it's the end, that you don't live any longer, but you do. You live in a different dimension of soul and self. You are not contained to a physical vessel, a shell that is harboring any diseases or illnesses or whatever it is that ceases life. Here in this dimension, that you continue, the continuation, this growth of your soul self, this awareness of your soul self. And you think that when you move into the other dimension that you would be happy with who you are there and thinking, phew, I've done that mission now. I'm no longer returning back to Earth or any other planet, but you do. Each soul keeps residing and on the recycling button comes backwards and forwards. I'm quite surprised at times when I hear the conversations of the life they have lived once before and yet they want to return again. I'm intrigued. But as a soul, this is what you wish to happen. You wish to come backwards and forwards to have a better life, a better understanding of yourself. Now, when we say a better life, we do not mean a fancy car, a bigger house. That might be your mission as you see it, but what we mean is to get a greater understanding of your soul self. But it is fear on your planet that you keep yourself small. So we want you to think for a moment, if you were not fearful, what would you do? What would be your passion, something that you would enjoy doing? What would that be? We want you to think for a brief moment. You see, you're so harsh on yourselves. You create your own judgment of yourself. You judge yourself so harshly. In the world that you live in, this is exhausting. There are many of you around there that are criticizing each other and quite harsh to each other, and then you are harsh to yourself. You see, if you talk to yourself in a certain way, then you see yourself in a certain way, and then you cannot move forward. You get stuck. And imagine then your future self from the place of how you are feeling about yourself right now. It is the same old, same old, same old. It is when you are awoken. It is when you are experiencing some tragedy or some trauma or drama or whatever it is that you want to label it as, that through growing through this process, that you learn more about yourself, that you start to learn there is more. You become aware of yourself. There are many of you that bury your heads in the sand and pretend that you wish to continue but don't want to quite look at it. They all go away. It's like the drip with a dripping roof, and then suddenly, before you know it, the roof has caved in. It starts off small, but by sharing this information, we wish you to understand that your life can look like anything you want it to look like. But your minds keep kicking in behind you and by saying, oh, that's not real, this is not true. So it is your purpose, your moment of fame for yourself. It's about you growing. It's about you looking at yourself, looking at your evolvement. Look at who you once were as a child and what it was that the dreams and aspirations that you wanted. Continue with those dreams. Be what you want to be. You are part of one. You are part of us. We are aware of who you are. You're all closely connected to each other, and you're all affecting each other's energies on your planet. Whatever is occurring at any particular time in any part of the world, you are also going to be having that ripple effect of emotions or frequency. You see, anything that happens in one part of the world is also going to happen to you in this part of the world. You'll be aware of it. And this is why you are here. It is to help you to find yourself. It is for you to grow with the wealth of knowledge around you. We're aware of many of your thoughts and feelings and emotions at this time. We are intrigued. Imagine if you lived in a world where there was no such thing as fear or judgment or being harsh upon yourself. How different would your life look like? You see, the more that you become aware of yourself, you enter into a different dimension of yourself. If you can live from a state of happiness, which we know is not so easy on your planet because there are so many times that you're receiving information that you shouldn't be happy. There's something else that's happening, as in there might be a bill or there is an argument with somebody else, or you're trying to please other people apart from yourself. Your goal is to look at your soul self. But if you can remain in that state of that higher frequency, watch how life begins to change. And we are aware, because of your human existence, there is always going to be something that's being played out for your experience of your soul self, to help you to grow, for you to have an understanding. So when there are moments that are heavy for yourself, why not take yourself away from your physical self, in the sense of go play music and go into nature. Do something that you enjoy doing. Shift the energy. That's all you have to do, is shift the energy. But many of you will find the repeating patterns, that continuation on your planet at this time, because there are many of you that are being soul activated to grow. This is not a time to shy away. This is a time to take action. This is a time to discover more about yourself. This is that time to listen to your intuition and your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are always around you. All you have to do is ask. And I wonder, are you aware of how you receive signs and messages from your guides? Are you aware of your guides? Many of them are changing continuously, especially as you are changing. They up-level, upgrade, the same as yourself. Isn't this lovely that you are aware that it doesn't matter how your day has been, because tomorrow offers you the new day, that you can make those changes, that you have that awareness. There are so many changes around you. So whatever it is that you wish to see or think about yourself, you're just going to continuously attract more of. If you make that change on yourself, you'll notice the world around you begins to change too. And I think the thing is that, you know, in our physical self, we're actually feeling all the senses. So, you know, for our senses that we have, the feeling, the touch, the hearing, the sound, whatever, it can feel really heavy when you're experiencing something that is really hard for you. It, you know, your whole body's embodying that moment. It's very heavy and it's hard to get out of. But our biggest enemy is like our brain, getting stuck in our brain with it. So we get so entangled within our thoughts that sometimes it's so hard to come out of. And that's why sometimes we've got to shift where we are. So it's like, to shift that energy, we have to move away from, so say for instance, if I was really feeling heavy, I mean, I always listen to my guides. I always trust in them and I ask them questions directly to them. And if anyone finds it difficult to hear them sort of in their ear, or, receiving the information however you want to receive it, then that's when I take my cards out. I use my cards. I use my affirmation cards. I will shuffle them and go, right, okay, give us a clue. Please give us a clue what's happening, because I have my own personal things that happen. And sometimes I'm bowled over by a card and then I might sit there and go, I don't know, I'm not sure. And sometimes I get a little kick and my guides go, oh my goodness, this is so simple. I'm like, but it's not, because when you're physically going through something and personally, it's really, really difficult. So then I shuffle a couple of cards and they reveal. I mean, even today, before I started doing this, I had 3 cards and well, that makes so much sense. What the cards were telling me, it's just making me aware of they are actually listening to me. But one of the things that I found that has helped me, and my guides have offered me this assistance, is that, if something's happening to me personally in my own personal world, I try to take myself away from what's going on. I physically will move, like go out for a walk, listen to music or whatever it is that sort of elevates my own energy. So that I get a clearer understanding. I feel more connected to my guides to make it even easier to hear them and to receive the information. And then once I've stepped away and I sort of it's like having cogs, as in, if there's a trauma, it escalates. You think of more things that's connected to an individual or the situation. But if I can get away from it and switch off for 10, 15 minutes, my mood shifts straight away. And I'm like, oh, my energy shifts. But if we sit there and we keep thinking about the same thing, the biggest thing that's just happened to me, and I was like, I'm so stupid. I was worried. I bought my house and I've done it independently on my own, and it took a long time to get it, but I did. And I was thinking, the worst thing, you got to be really careful what you put out there. I thought the worst thing that could happen right now is something happened to my roof of my house. It might start leaking. And 2 days later, I have a leak in my roof. And I'm like, I actually manifested that. Why did I do that? So and I'm really good at this. And I'm like, so normally I would go, if I'm thinking about something and worry about something, I normally switch it over to something quick. I sort of disengage with it. I'll go, right, I'm listening to music, change that quickly. Because the longer that I worry about it, that I was going to end up something on my roof, it's now put the energy in it and I have a damn leak. And then I was thinking, oh my God, what if? And I went, no, stop. Don't even say what if. Because again, the energy of it, I'm manifesting it, I'm creating more of it. So I had to make sure I went for a walk today just so that I could just stop the energy of it and look at it in a different way. I'm like, oh, it's okay, it's just a small thing, we're getting it sorted. So it's like paying attention to where we are at, our mindsets. There is this dysfunctional awareness of, sometimes we have to feel things and it's like we get stuck and it becomes addictive. This is the thing, we become quite addictive to feelings and emotions, whatever they are. And it's a bit like, there's many different reasons for this, I just said, but say for instance, if we're driving on the motorway or freeway, wherever you are in the world, and there's an accident on the other side of the road, or you're coming up and there's a traffic jam, and there's a car that's overturned or whatever, whatever it is, we have this instinct in us. We've got to look at it. We've got to, we drive down slowly. We've got to look at it. We've got to check it out. And I think there's this side of us that it's because it's like that fear that it might happen to us. So we've got to work it out in our brain really quick. How did that happen? Because I want to make sure that doesn't happen to me, or I'm not going to drive that way, because that's from fear, because it creates this sort of whole big mess, like a giant knot of fear, like, oh, I mustn't, whatever. And we're inquisitive, like what's happened, and we like a story. We create a story, what's going on. And there's sometimes where we've become so numb also of other things going on in our life, because we've had to shut down for our protection. We've had to shut down and disconnect. Then we can end up then following that pathway of that really dysfunctional negative thoughts in our head. And it's so familiar to us that, God forbid, if we change those thoughts, that But who are we if we change those thoughts? That story we play out. I mean, years and years ago, I mean, a very long time now, I mean, I used to play this out that, I'm with a narcissistic partner. Yes, he had narcissistic tendencies, right? But if you end up giving everything titles, which did help in the beginning so I could understand what it was like. But if you give something a title, you then disconnect from it. You sort of stop dealing with it. You sort of step away from it. And it's like, actually, by owning it and going, right, this person's got narcissistic tendencies, what am I going to do about it? I am the one that needs to change, in the sense of I need to now go, right, I'm going to disembark from this relationship because it's not serving me. So it's like pulling ourselves back from it. But we've got to first look at it and go, oh, what is it? And why is it I want to be feeling in that way? What is it that, that behavior, what we're bringing up right now? We've got to look at it and go, what purpose is it serving? For me, it used to be, I have a narcissistic partner. And then I ended up meeting all these other people that had narcissistic partners. And when the children were growing up, I made great friends with some of these people. And now, I met up with a couple recently and I'm like, we have nothing in common. But these individuals are still repeating the same story, as in, I've got a narcissistic partner. I'm like, yeah, you said that 25 years ago. What have you done about it? Because they feel it's comfortable, it's familiar, it gives them a title, in a sense of they understand who they are, they understand the relationship they're in, and they're too fearful of moving out of it because they don't know what's the next new label going to be. You don't need a new label. In anything, it's about empowering yourself. So I think we all can do it, but it's like, what label do we give ourselves if that's what we want to go with, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you said about like this feeling, this dissonance, sort of, trying to, need to embody the whole of yourself. This is what someone just said to me. It feels like, to me, when I'm sitting here tuning into your energy, there's been a massive shift on the planet. So you're going to get those who have been doing the work, as in the psychic development, intuition, really following that sort of that avenue, that pathway. And I know for you that you have. And what's happening right now is that there's a dimensional shift, which might sound really different and strange here, but it is this dimensional shift, which just means that you've moved out of who you once were, in the sense of how you lived life. You've had a massive waking up shift in yourself, a massive wake up call. And we have these wake up calls through, what happens to us in our everyday life, for our family members, for our relationships, through work, through us experiencing our everyday lives. We have a massive shift that is always available to us. But it's when we are fearful of like, oh, this has happened to me, I can't do anything, I am the victim, none of us shift. But you personally, as I'm sitting here looking at you and I can feel into your energy, I'm excited for you, because you've been doing the work, you've been working meditation, you've been tuning into your guides, you've been asking for guidance, because I can hear that you've been asking for new guides. I can see there's new guides coming in. And when they come in, your energy is different. It's like drinking caffeine or something like coffee or Coke or whatever it is. I know you might not drink Coke, whatever, but this energy is it can make us feel, sometimes individuals can feel a bit panicky with it. Some people are like, oh my God, the fear of what's going on, because I've never experienced it before. And there's an excitement with it too. So there's a lot of adrenaline coming in. So those of you who are really waking up doing the work, it's going to feel that you're really tuning into this high frequency, and it's just shifting you into a different dimensional time and space. So you will personally show up as the person that you are on this planet. Of course you will. But your energy shift, it's like I can feel that you're almost like walking through walls, walking through different time zones and stuff like that. So it means that the channeling you will receive now is slightly different. I feel that you've got a couple of ascended masters coming in. I feel like you personally have ascended masters that want to work with you. And we know ascended masters are like Jesus, Buddha, all those who've been here before, who've done the work, who are spiritual leaders. It feels like you are going to go on to lead your group. So it feels like individual, like-minded individuals will come to you and you will give some teachings. You've got to tune into that. So what's happening is you're tuning into another channel, so another frequency, which is great from what you were before. So it's layers and layers of that. And that happens because you're showing up as yourself now. That's what they just said. You're showing up as yourself. You've done the work, all the personal growth. Yes, I can see that. I love that for you. And my heart is really, smiling. So you've done that personal growth, that personal work. And you know what's wonderful? It means that people know that if when they do that personal development, that personal growth, that they look through what's going on for them, that you come out on the other side and this is what's happening for you. Your energy is shifting. Now, you said about something about a little bit of fear, but also there's excitement. That's normal. So what I want you to do personally, because the brain finds it difficult when something new happens or something that's unfamiliar, you have to teach your brain it's okay, that it's excitement. This is excitement. This is what this feels like, because it's the unknown that you're stepping into. But what it is that it's something, it's unfamiliar, that's all. And then over time, it's going to be your familiar pattern, what you're going to go into, you're going to step into, and you won't be fearful. When you said about like that dizziness and stuff, again, it is that tuning in. I feel that your ear chakras are really opening wider than ever before. So you're hearing spirit in a different way or receiving messages in a different way. And also say your third eye, it's really interesting. Your third eye is starting to see a lot clearer now. There's a lot more. And you've got this great connection. Your crown chakra, I can really feel it opening up. And it is like I like peonies, flowers, but it's like the lotus flower that's opening up. You've got many layers there. So literally, you're just stepping into new information that's coming in. I would say really make sure that you ground yourself as well. So it's like, it's great to be in this spiritual field because the frequency is really high and it's buzzing and we love it and it's so much growth there. But we also need to do the practical things. And I hate doing practical things. And that means, like cleaning or gardening. I love gardening, but it's just carry on with the practical side as well, so you get a balance. That's going to be really important. This is the beauty of this stuff, this work, and me even as a counselor, when people start to realize something or they see something, they break a pattern, they start moving forward. And for you personally, when I'm tuning into your energy, there is no way you're going to go back, because that's the old you. That's how you would have dealt with issues, family issues or life issues, whatever. But you've got more of an understanding. You've done so much work on yourself, like spiritually, psychologically, you've done all that, so that now that person doesn't exist anymore. So it'll be interesting if you look back at an old photograph of yourself, even going back to last year, not even 6 months ago, that'll be hard to recognize yourself in that photograph, because what you've done is you've created a new pathway leading forward to the new you. And that's endless possibilities. I'm excited for you because I can see there's so much change ahead for you and how you're going to go on to help others. Oh, that's beautiful. That's lovely. We've got some guys that's just walking and saying, we're always throwing signs at all of you and, messages and how we want to help you to move on. I think they said they think some of you think it's a solo job, that you're here to do it on your own, but you're not, because they're here to guide you every step of the way. Now, many people can get different signs and messages. It just depends on the individual. I always will say is that help them to help you. So I would turn around and say, if I need to hear a message from my granddad, I know if I see a racing pigeon or a wood pigeon or a dove, that's from my granddad. But he knows that's how he's going to connect to me. From my nan, I always get a smell of mint, that she used to boil her potatoes with mint in it and stuff. So this is how my guides will connect to me. And also, I get the numbers as well. So I would then look into them and go, right, I need to have a sign today. So the minute we go, I need to hear a sign, then you wait and see what comes up for you, and you can test them. So the more that you do this, the more that you are asking, then you start to understand what your sign is or the message that it means for you. Okay. I also hear it and receive it through music. So if I, on my phone, I will shuffle it and I go, I literally go, right, universe, I need to know, I need a message. And then next thing I know, the message has come in on a song, and there's either the title or it'll be words that are in the lyrics that are telling me what to do. So if you want to make it so that you really hone it into a personalized sort of message, tell them how you want to receive it. So that's really clear for them, because they're confused. So they'll keep chucking things at people. They'll chuck some coins at people, feathers at people. Sometimes it'll be something might be playing on a car when you're driving along on the radio, sort of that comes in. But you see, the thing is, it's not just about you verbalizing that you need to see a sign. They are also aware of your thoughts. So remember, as like the 3D cardboard cutout, they said, as living in the 3D world, with your mind also, your mind is thinking things constantly. Now, that sends out ripple effects of energy out out around you. So like I said a little bit earlier, if you're fearful of something happening, you're already creating that thought pattern that you're thinking about it. It creates more of a vibration around you. It's like the universe goes, oh, what is it they're worried about? Or what is it that's the energy of? And they'll give you more of it, thinking that they're actually helping you and they don't understand it. So the idea is to be mindful of your thoughts. So say, for instance, if either someone's self-employed, or I know they work for a company, lost their job, or they're not earning as much money, the thought in their mind is going to be, I'm so worried, how am I going to pay my bills? I'm so worried, how am I going to make money? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? Instead of going, right, guides, give me a helping hand, show me what I'm here to do, help me to create. I need to pay my bills. Can you bring in the money? I want to see more of this, more of that. Instead of doing that, it's the opposite. So the energy is so intensified on the what if and I don't want it and the fear. The universe can't tell the difference. The universe goes, oh, this is their thought patterns, this is their energy, we're going to send them more of it. And that's not what we want. So we also have to manage like our well-being, and we have to manage our energy flow too. So if we want money, it's like then to see ourselves how we are going to feel in that moment of receiving money. So if the money is to do with a house, or the money is to do with food, whatever that money's for, you want to start seeing the abundance of it to create more of it. And it's not just about, I was saying this the other day on my Instagram, that I was driving through the countryside, because now I live in the countryside, and I saw these sheep. And I was so excited, and I'm jumping around going, Andrew, look at these, look, there's more sheep, there's more cows. And I could feel myself elevating in here. He's laughing away again, it's just another sheep. And I went, you don't understand, this is exciting. And then there was something on the radio, and I started singing to it, and I was buzzing. That was the frequency. And then my guide came in and said to me, you've got a new gatekeeper that's come in. And I went, why are you telling me now? We're driving. Because my energy had shifted and upgraded, because I was focusing on that, well, as in the sheep and the song, and I was enjoying myself, childlike, going into that mode, my energy shifted again. I got another new gatekeeper. So every time we elevate, every time we up level, our guides change, our gatekeepers change. But regarding signs, you've got to give them a clue as in what you want. If you're receiving loads of like double digits, triple digits, quadruple digits, and you don't know what they mean, that's no good, is it? So they get a bit frustrated too, because they're like, oh, we're trying to tell her something. So you can either Google, as in like put the digits in and go, what does this mean? You can do that if you wanted to do that. Or you go, right, give me a different sign and different message, please. Give it to me in a different way. So, and that's really important. Then you'll receive it in a different way. I just had Andrew, he's not into this. He doesn't, well, he's not that he's not into it. He's not been brought up with this. And then he turned around and said, I think I manifested something today. And I went, did you? And he said, yeah. He said, I just thought I needed to get this amount of money to do something. And he said, I turned around and I made the money today. And I went, right. And he goes, well, I manifested it. And I went, that's really good. Well done. So he's like, I can't believe it. And then there was something, we were talking about car keys and stuff, and he wants to move my car keys around because he's just moved into my house and everything has to be moved now. And he goes, I don't leave it in the hall, I'll leave it in the kitchen. And I was like, why? Someone might steal the keys from the hall. And I went, they're not going to anyway. They can take my car if they want to. And I had him turn and say, universe, delete. What are you doing? He goes, that's what you do, isn't it? I went, yeah, that's what you do. So anyway, I've gone off into a tangent. But yeah, if you want messages and you want, just build that communication up with your guides. As I've said before, it's a bit like a dating app, with your guides. If you don't talk to them, they're going to wander off. If you talk to them, I know it's swipe left or right, whatever it is, but if you talk to your guides, they're going to come in. Angels, whoever it is, loved ones on the other side, they will come in. They know that you need them. But if you don't communicate, they're like, well, they don't need me. What's the point? And you're not going to see those signs. But the minute that you go, okay, I want to see signs from the universe, and give them a task, give them something to do, and then they'll do it for you, whether it's finding a car park space or not. So have a go. It's child's play. It really is child's play. And remember, from the minute you're born, you have guides trying to assist you. And children seem to see their invisible friends, their guides, and then adults and caregivers like, no, we don't see them, they can't be there. But these are their guides. They're already seeing it from a child's point of view. They're seeing it. But it's only when they get older and it's like, oh no, if you can't see it, it doesn't exist. But they do, they exist. So challenge them. I dare you to challenge them and let me know what you get back. Thank you. Okay. How do you fast track connecting to your guides and your gatekeepers? I almost was going to say, well, you die 3 times and that's what happened, but you don't. I'm just joking. That helps me as a trance channeler with these guys, but no, that's not the way. That's not the shortcut. Do not pay for that fast track ticket. Okay, be careful what you put out there. What I would say is the best way to connect is really about trust, and it's about also carving out some time in your day. So I'm like, I don't know, 10-12 years into this now, but literally you need to carve out some time. So I always am going to say meditation is going to help carve out that time. Now, the only reason I say meditation, and it can be as wacky as you want it to be, or hippified, or whatever it is you want it to be, it's up to you. And meditation can be as anything from taking a walk, I don't know, to the bottom of the garden, or and letting our mind just be mindful of, I can feel my feet on the grass, or I can feel my shoes, or whatever it is. By being mindful of what's going on around you and coming out of your head, not you individually, but people, when you're in your head, what we tend to do is when we've got worries or thoughts that's churning around, it affects all of us, our whole of ourself emotionally. And so it makes it really difficult to hear anything externally from ourselves. So the idea is that if we can sort of carve out some time in our day to start practicing, in the sense of to be able to connect to our guides, and that means giving ourselves a few minutes a day, the more that you do that, it becomes easier. And also to be mindful of what you might be hearing. You may be hearing clear audio, you might be hearing your guides communicating with you, but some individuals might think, actually, that might be just my inner voice talking to me. Well, that might actually be your guides talking to you. And I got a strong feeling with you individually. I feel that there's something going on here. There's wanting to connect to you. So it's like giving yourself time. If we say like meditation, we become strict with ourselves and go, right, I'm going to take time out, whatever time, if it's first thing in the morning, I'm going to be present in myself at this moment. I'm not going to think about my day ahead of me. I'm not going to think about rushing the kids to school. I'm not going to be thinking about the shopping. I'm not going to think about the bills. But if I can just carve out 10-15 minutes a day to go, right, I've shown up, I'm here, communicate with me. And it may be even you can like write something, or if you don't want to journal, don't want to write, then do the cards, so that literally by shuffling the cards, it's like you let them come in and then they give you a message. And the more that you do that, you start trusting in that process. There was something I was going to share, and they just given it to me. Thank you, I forgot. They're like my PA. I literally was driving. We've got dual carriageway down here. It's like 70 miles per hour, and I was just driving his country lanes, and dual carriageways and stuff like that. And I was driving, and then suddenly I heard change lanes, and I was like, okay. There was nothing in front of me that I could see ahead. And I was like, okay, I'll change lanes. So I went on the outside in the fast lane. 2 seconds, this massive tractor didn't even look to see if there's cars coming. If I'd been in that lane, I don't know what would have happened. I'm saying I would have died. Not again. I'm over that. But I might have like bumped into my car a little bit. So I was like, oh, okay, thank goodness for that. But because I'm quite open when I'm driving and I try to stay present, I don't think about my day or my shopping ahead of me. I just remain present. So as I was driving, I'm looking at sheep and waving to the cows, and I was listening to the music, and then all of a sudden I heard change lanes. I knew that wasn't my inner voice. I knew that was coming from somewhere else, because I wasn't thinking of it. And then it twice happened on that day. And so if we start letting those voices coming in, or that sensation, or that knowing, or whatever it is, or a visual coming, like an imagery just coming, without correcting it, without having to think, oh, where's this coming from? Then we start building up more of that trust. So you too can do this as well, but it's just going to take a little bit of practice and time. So we just need to free up our minds a little bit, so that we don't create this haze or this fog and a barriers that we're not receiving information. I used to also do the same thing, because I used to live between 2 train stations. I was like, should I do this one or should I do this one? And then I hear the message from my guides, and they're like, I can hear it. I'm like, it's so subtle, so faint. And then I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't it make sense, as in my mind's trying to analyze it too? And then, as like you just said rightfully, that when you do follow what they are telling you, and then you do wander in that direction, you might bump into somebody that you know, because it's all set up. It's everything is set up for us to find the individuals or something, or the answers to something. They know the bigger plan. So the universe, source, the divine knows the bigger plan. So actually, by hearing those information so subtly, it's like directing us on our pathway, putting us in the right direction of the individual person that we need to bump into. They might be thinking of us, or there's something that goes on later to connect to it. So that fine essence, they just said, that fine essence that you have of that knowing in your body, is the same thing. It's like your body's become so in tuned to the subtle information around you that you're tuning in, that you're picking up. That is beautiful. That's a gift in itself. And that again goes to show how much work that you've done on yourself too. Because if you hadn't done all the work on yourself, as in anything that's been going on for you in your life, if you hadn't done that work, you wouldn't be receiving it so much more clearly. So your energy is also shifted. Thank you. This someone just said to me, because also the work that you're going to go on to do and the work that you're doing for others, they feel that you are receiving information through your writing, they said, and that also what you're putting out into the world, you're helping humanity. So it may be subtle, but it is those little nudges that you are getting. So you are receiving sense that you're using your body as a body pendulum. I love it, because you're tuning in. And as I was saying before, our thoughts, our feelings, it's all part of the energy of us around us. You know, it's the energy fields of our aura and everything like that. And then when we are really aware of ourselves, it makes it easier for us to have that knowing. It makes it easier for us to be used as that body pendulum. I've done that when I was purchasing this house. Just before, I was looking at other houses, and I literally did this like scales, weighing it up. Shall I move in this area? Should I move in that area? And I stood on the beach, this beautiful sandy beach nearby, and I was like, let's see, should I move in this or move there? And I had the two houses, two different areas, and my body was like, whoa, okay, it's this one. My whole body felt it. So it's beautiful. It's a different way of doing it, but absolutely beautiful. And it sounds like it's working for you. I love it. Just if you want it loud of you sort of working with your body in this, because you can feel it. I love that. They love that too. And you're right, when drinking any alcohol, anything like that at all, it can numb our work down a little bit. So and we also, this is going off into a different topic now, but I remember there is a famous psychic medium, Van Prague, and he sort of said, and there was a book I read years and years ago, and he said about, if you're drinking alcohol, you've got to attract lower entities, energy, and from different spirits. It leaves us really wide open. So, there's some work I was doing with somebody about alcoholics and stuff, and about how then it really opens us up for lower entities to come in, because our barrier goes down. And this can happen with drugs as well. So we have to be really mindful how we take care of our bodies, so that we can receive pure information that comes in for us, that we're receiving it. So it's not dialed down by alcohol or drugs or anything else. So no, it's good. That's probably what's helped you actually develop even more, maybe, as in the sense of, looking at, maybe it might not be much the alcohol content, but it was like even a sip of alcohol. I know my retreats, I don't know any alcohol, because it blocks us. It creates quite a fogginess, and we attract in other entities. So no, I'm pleased for you that you've looked at that. What I'm aware of is that how I perceive it when I'm receiving information is, as I said, I'm driving along in my car. This literally, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was driving along, and also happened today. And I, 2 lanes of traffic, there was nothing in front of me, and then suddenly I get this message, and I'm not thinking about anything in front of me, the car. I'm just listening to a tune. I'm singing away, looking at sheep and cows, and suddenly it says, change lanes. And then if I'd questioned it, like the old Anne would have done back in the day, like, why would I question, why should I change lanes? There's nothing in front of me. I can't see anything coming. But out of the side road, there was a massive tractor with big wheels. I only drive a little tiny small mini car. So it seems to be out of context. When I receive information, it's like it comes from nowhere. I'm like, oh. And so that's how I know the difference for myself. But if we are in our faults, and I have moments where I'm really caught in faults, and there's like a lot going on, I'm like, I had to make a few decisions this week, and there was so many things going on, like, I just need some help. And I was like, where are you? Where are you? And then all I heard was, quieten your mind. And I was like, but then I can't hear you, like, quiet your mind. So I did a body scan meditation. I was just sitting on my body. How does my body feel? And I just sat there, and suddenly I heard the information. It was very subtle. I heard some information. I was like, okay, I'm not going to judge it. This is what you're saying. But for yourself, yes, try it. See what happens when you say to them, can you rejiggle the words around and tell me in a different way, and see what happens. Yeah, they're always communicating with us. It's just us finding that technique that we are going to see it so clearly. We go, right, yes, I know that's my guide. Yeah, love that. Yes, so instead of working in the way that you just said, as in when you're working with clients or something and you're going, okay, whoever can help me come in, what I would turn around and say to them is, right, this, you're working with a client, a patient, or whatever work that you're doing with somebody, you're going, right, I need the guide for this particular person, because you've got about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 guides that come in when you're working. So I would say that I want the right guide for this particular person. You're going to get loads of different patients needing different treatments and different things. And in the end, you're going to work through the different guides, because I can see that they're all going to come in for different patients. And then in the end, you'll get a guide that comes in and you'll go, okay, this patient's got this problem with them. That makes sense why that guide's come in. It'd be like me. If I'm working on a murder case, I get a different guide that comes in. It's no good having my nan and granddad come in and help me on a murder case, because they ain't got a clue. Have got no idea at all. And my granddad would have been squeamish about blood. So they ain't got a clue. So whenever I get a different guide that comes in, I already know I'm working on a different case or working in a different situation. So this is what I want to say to you, that if you've got a lot of guides, which you have, then what you want to do is go, right, okay, I want to work with a particular guide that's going to help me with this particular person. You don't even have to know anything about that person at all, and wait and see who shows up. Tune it into the energy. Now, your guides know who you've got. So on your list, they'll know. I know when I write down on my schedule in the morning, I know that, okay, I haven't read any details about them, but when I have a guide that comes in, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to be working psychically today, or I'm going to be working on a past life because of my guide that steps in. So it's a bit like a game in the end, that you start tuning and going, okay, oh, I've had this guide before. I wonder if this person's got the similar thing that what the other person had, because this guide's shown up. So you play with them. They like that energy, childlike energy. They like that. So set them some tasks, make them do the work. You don't have to do all the work. They'll come in, and then you'll start to know who's who. Does that make sense? Just allowing your breath to flow through your body. Just making sure we're closing our eyes. Excellent, lovely. And so let's begin. So just be mindful of your physical self, allowing yourself to breathe in and breathe out. Taking that breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Nice and gently. It connects you to your physical self. Excellent. You've done this before. Excellent. And then your next in-breath, when you breathe in your next in-breath, breathe it in through the nose and then drop it down into your physical body. You can push it out through your breath in your mouth as well, and push it down through the physical body. And be mindful that every time that you breathe in and breathe out, you're bringing it into the body and dropping it into the body. Excellent. Just breathing in and breathing out, really connecting yourself to your physical body. Be mindful of how your body physically feels. Feel it in your body, feel it in the trunk of your body. Bringing that breath in and out nice and gently for yourself. Excellent. And be mindful that every time that you breathe in and breathe out, when you breathe in, you're breathing in the energy around you, your environment, your location. And whenever you breathe out, you're sending love and light out into the world. You're connecting to source. You're allowing it to come in and go out gently around you. Excellent. And those of you who have animals around you, whether they are 3D living or those who are in spirit, also around you now, connecting to you. They're consciously aware of your energy and they're coming closer. Excellent. So if you breathe in and as you breathe out, your energy is felt in the universal source, felt there in the fields. You're sending your energy stream out and you are connecting Those who are loved ones are stepping forward, are coming closer into your energy stream. Your guides are stepping closer. As you breathe out, you are sending love and light out into the world. You're breathing in and breathing out. You're feeling it in your physical body. You're coming down through your trunk of your body, down to the base of your spine, and feeling that equilibrium. You're balancing your left and your right. Feeling that energy as it swells around you like a giant hug of arms placed around you, almost like angel wings holding your space. Your loved ones stepping forward and holding you and giving you a hug and being with you at this moment in time. The animals also by your feet and standing there and making sure that you're where they know that you're there. And as you're connecting, you're allowing yourself to be earthbound as well, and also energetically you're spreading out on that out breath. As you push out, you're connecting to the energy fields around you. You're allowing yourself to connect, be part of the fabrication, feeling that fabric just as like what you are wearing, feeling as if that you are part of the energy fields around you. You're connecting to source, feeling it in your heart now. That love, as next time you breathe in, you're receiving it into your heart center, angelic energy around you. And as you breathe out, you're sending love and light out. And as you show up as yourself, feeling that empowerment, your journey, feeling what you have been through love, feeling that energy. As you're there now in that space, feeling that physical body where you are sitting, feeling the soles of your feet, and just feeling how you are plugged into the earth's energy. You're tuning in, you're allowing the energy to rise up through the soles of your feet, allowing the energy as it moves up through your legs as you take in your in-breath, as you drop the energy all the way up through your physical body. Feeling that change, almost like that energy rising up through your spine fluid, coming out through your fingertips, the veins, your vessels, your nerve endings. Feeling how the energy merges around you as it moves in and moves out. As you're breathing in and out, you are connecting to the fields around you. Feeling that energy as it moves through your pores, in and out. Physically allowing yourself to be in this physical space, almost like an extension of your soul self. As you breathe in and breathe out, you're extending fully out into the energy fields. It's almost as if this bubble of light appears around you, this iridescent rainbow shades of color, and feeling that shimmering light, just as if you see the sunshine glistening on the waves and the water. You can feel that within your physical self as you're breathing in and breathing out. Feeling that energy as you strengthen yourself and expand more fully, almost as if that iridescent light energy allows you to lift up, almost as if you feel that you're lifting up out of your seat, feeling this expansion, like almost like your fingertips are touching the walls around you. And then whenever you're breathing in and out, you can feel the extension more on the out breath, feeling your fingertips almost as if they're stretching through the membrane of the walls of your room right now. And again, as you're breathing in, you can feel it through the fingertips of the energy that's coming in, feeling it as if there's like tentacles of light as it moves and shimmers through your physical body. Again, as this iridescent bubble of light, and feel almost as if you're lifting up and out. Feel as if you are connecting with source energy, like a child that flies in this bubble, almost like a dream as you're allowing yourself to soar through the sky, like an eagle as it stretches its wings, flying through the rooftops, over the trees, lifting up high into the clouds, feeling that extension of self, like a phoenix rising up. Feeling that strength in that physical body of yours, feeling that how you've walked through many lives before, and how you rise above the ashes and start new. There is this great transformational shift at this time on the planet, this changing of energy. You can feel as you shed one layer of skin, shedding the old self, and as you're moving more into the new, feeling as if there's energy around you. There are loved ones that can feel your energy and want to continue that connection to you. They want to pass on a message of love and understanding. They want to step closer at this time. almost like a sense of a feeling of that tingling or shivering or a sweating or the heat, this warmth maybe, or a breeze around you. Just allowing that gentle guidance from your guides coming in more, almost like a whisper that just touches the side of your cheek, that brushes your hair gently, that places their hand upon your back and reassures you as they are just by your side. You are never on your own. Every time that you think of those loved ones or ask for guides to step forward, that you shall receive the information that you need at any given time. And as you soar through the clouds and end up moving around those many planets, you can see how the energy begins to shift. This iridescent bubble of light around you shimmering as you're receiving the healing of love and light, connection to source, connection to those that know who you are, the like-mindedness. And as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out, sending love out into the energy fields, sending love and light to those who need it right now on the planet. Love and light to offer the guidance. Love and light to those who are in fear or who are suffering. May we offer them courage and assertiveness. May they feel loved and strength. May they have their own wisdom and guidance to help navigate them through troubled times. May we send love and light out to those in the world that need it right now. Those who are asking for prayers to be answered. Those who seek guidance. Those who still need to trust and to believe. Those who need this at this time. May we feel one connected as we send out a boom of light out into the energy fields from the golden heart that we have that lies within each and every one of us. Sending love and light and receiving that love and light from the universal fields, feeling it almost as if it's rising and coming through our physical bodies, as this pillar of light from LightCouncil and the universal source of energy flows through our physical self, sending this white pure energy of light coming down from the top of your head, all the way down through the pillar of your soul self, the trunk of your body, and as it moves through your physical self, clearing and cleansing your cells, coming down all the way down through your feet. It's almost feeling like you've landed, like the eagle has landed upon this strong oak tree, and feeling that trunk of your body with this wisdom and courage, and feeling that you are becoming more grounded, that you're connected to the earth source. As your loved ones are always with you, your guides gently begin to step back, gently, gently. And as on the count of 3, I'll begin to bring you back into this space. 1, being mindful of your physical form, where you are resting at this time. 2, be mindful of your breath and wiggling your fingers and toes as you gently begin that feeling of you have landed back into your body. And 3, when you are ready, take a nice deep breath in, release, and come back, wherever you've been, come back, opening your eyes when you're ready. Okay.